want to share with you some of the basic turkey calls that are available on the market to you, how to condition those calls or get them prepared for making sounds where you can call turkeys in while you're hunting, and demonstrate some of the basic sounds that you can make. Let's start with locator calls. Locator calls are what you use when you try to roost a tom in the tree either late at night or early in the morning. I like going in with the crow call and just giving a quick blast, something like this. Then I'm just going to listen and try to pinpoint where a tom might gobble from. Another locator call you can use is a hawk call. This is a high-pitched whistle. It sounds like this. Another call you can use is an owl call. An owl call, this one is a barred owl. We have quite a few of these in Oregon now. And when you blow into this, think of giving a guttural sound to it, kind of a raspy sound, and think of saying, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all?" It sounds like this. These three sounds are meant to get a tom to shot gobble, that is, gobble in reaction to your sounds. Once you get a tom to shot gobble, you can then go in with turkey calls and start calling that tom into you. One of the most basic turkey calls is a friction call. This is called a push-pull call. It's a box call that has a surface on the underside that's conditioned with chalk, and then it has a little striker on the bottom of that. These are pressured with rubber bands or wires, and they're very simple to use. All you're doing is applying pressure with your index finger, and the weight of the top of this call and the combination of the wire or the rubber band pushing against that create the friction or the sound that this call produces. By going slow, you can produce purrs. Going a little faster, you can produce yelps. Or you can combine the two. When using this call, be careful not to hold it in the palm of your hand because it'll muffle the sound. Instead, allow room underneath the call, and that will allow the sound to carry quite a bit farther in the turkey woods. Probably the most common call that's used in the turkey woods is a box call. Box calls come in various shapes and sizes, but they all have the same working parts. The bottom part right here, where the sound chamber is, that's what's called the boat. Then you have the lip of the boat, which is what the paddle that I'm holding in my hand here drags across to create a sound. Now, when you take these out of the box after you bought them at the store, you need to condition them. And they can be conditioned one of two ways. The most common way to condition them is with chalk. And with the chalk, what you want to do is you want to take it and you just want to color in all sides of the paddle right there. The chalk is what allows the surface area to create a sound once it's dragged across the lip of the boat. When you use a box call, make sure you grab the bottom of it. Don't grab the sound chamber or the actual boat itself because that will muffle the sound. Then what you want to do once it's conditioned is you want to grab the call in your hand and just slide the paddle across the boat until you get a sound. You can see it starts making a sound about 1/3 of the way across the paddle. This is because the paddle itself is convex shaped. So when it hits that specific point where it starts making a sound, that's where you will concentrate on applying pressure to make turkey sounds. As you drag it across there slowly, you're going to produce a purr like this. You can increase the pressure and the speed and create a yelp. You can do a quick plucking action, which creates a cluck. You can also do tree yelps with this. You can combine these sounds to create a very unique, very realistic turkey scenario in the woods. And this is best done by creating purrs followed by yelps. Box calls can also be conditioned with rosin. This is violin rosin right here. If you were to open this box up, you can see it looks like an amber type of mineral in there. You can take that and just break it apart in little flakes on the paddle, and then just use your index finger to rub it in there. What I like about this rosin over a chalk is this is waterproof. It's good, crisp sound that you get when you use a rosin like this. Slate calls or pot calls come in many different varieties. This is a Pennsylvania slate right here, which is actually made of the stone Pennsylvania slate. This one is made of glass. You also have acrylic and aluminum. When you get a slate call, the first thing you want to do is condition it. And to condition it, you take a chunk of abrasive paper, 60, 80 grit, 120 grit, all work fine. Sand back and forth in an even motion, and then blow that dust off of there. I'll use the same motion when I'm conditioning any type of slate surface. What these slate surfaces are going to do is give you a different sound with each one of them. You also want to make sure that you sand the tips of your strikers. Now, when I'm using my strikers, I might have anywhere from 10 to 20 of these in my vest at any one time. Each striker produces a different sound when used on each slate. So if I have 6 different strikers and 3 different slates, that's 18 different sounds that I can potentially produce. When I create a sound with this, I want to find the sweet spot. When I hold the slate, I want to grip it on the outside. Don't hold it on the bottom, because those holes you can see on the bottom, that's the sound chamber. If you hold the bottom and try to make a sound, it's going to muffle it, as opposed to holding it and letting that sound escape freely out the bottom. To make a purr, grab the striker, don't touch the surface of the slate, and place it on the slate call and drag it towards you. All it's doing is it's skipping across those grooves that I just made in there with the abrasive paper. A purr sounds like this. A yelp sounds like this. You can also do clucks and fly down cackles. The yelp is the most common sound, and to do that, think of drawing an oval shape on the surface of a dime. It's a very small shape. So as you drag it towards you, it's going to create the sound. As you push it away from you, it will be silent on the slate. Basically, if you want to call in a turkey, use the purrs, use the yelps, and you'll be in good shape. Diaphragm calls are something I see a lot of people being intimidated with, and don't be. They're easy to use. When you take them out of the package, you want to put them in the roof of your mouth and position the tape, in this case the green portion right here, in the roof of your mouth, and seal that up against the roof of your mouth with your tongue. Your tongue then is going to be applying pressure to the latex. That's what's going to give you the sound. And the purpose of having your tongue against the latex is because when you let airflow over your tongue, it's going to vibrate over that latex, producing a sound. There are a lot of different diaphragm calls out there, and just experiment to see what's comfortable so that when you put it in your mouth, you know what works for you. All of us have different shapes with the roof of our mouth, and once you get dialed in with one of these, you'll be able to use all of them. So for me, I put the front edge of the diaphragm call about my 3rd tooth back, and then I'm just going to apply pressure and start blowing until I get a sound. Once I get a sound, then I can start creating sounds like a yelp. If I want to create a purr, I can do that while I blow and flutter my lips. So relax your lips and you can get a purr. Combine it with a yelp. These are great calls because they allow you to operate hands-free. A call that's often overlooked but has a place in the turkey woods is a gobble. These are designed to be a shaker type call, and they sound like this. I like adding a little bit more control to it, so I'll grab the sound chamber like this, and I'm going to pump it back and forth from the back side. If you have a gobbler that's hung up out there in the woods, this gobbler call can be great for bringing them in. So there you have it, a variety of turkey calls that are easy to use and will help you find success out there in the turkey woods.